a few local schools and we launched a beta test with them. We kept working on refining the product, and then in May we started charging. So we started charging $30 per year for an annual subscription per student, and we also do $15 subscriptions for just a semester. Since then we've also raised a seed round from Southgate Labs and hired our first employee. Time for some numbers. By the end of last year we signed up 400 teachers and over 7,000 students. Our usage at the moment is split about 50-50 between Australia and New Zealand. And so far this year we've converted those users into over $30,000 in revenue. So that's this month so far since school started. Our marketing strategy is to find teachers who are interested in e-learning and interested in being progressive and moving forwards with this sort of stuff. We get them using Vocab, and then we get them to evangelize it to their friends. We meet these amazing evangelist teachers at language conferences and professional development events, and also through language teacher mailing lists, and generally immersing ourselves in the language teacher community. So from this base, we're ready to go international. We've got a product that we've developed, we've refined it in the New Zealand and Australian markets, and the next big challenge for us is the US market, where the money is. So education is a huge untapped market for good reason. It's notoriously difficult. But the process we're using so far to approach individual teachers and get them involved and then progress from there to signing up the whole school has been very effective so far. So we're confident that that will keep working. And we plan to start with charter schools and private schools and then leave the selling to school districts till we really know what we're doing. Thank you. Yeah, sure. So we have sort of two areas of competitors. There's tools like Webstock, which will teach you a language on its own, and then there's tools like Quizlets.com, which is sort of like an automated flashcard system where you put in your stuff and it will give you flashcards. And neither of them is really doing the same thing as we're doing. We're not trying to teach a language completely on your own, and we're a lot more than just a flashcard tool. We have one competitor who is doing something more similar, but they're just in New Zealand and Australia and haven't spread beyond that particularly. So I think, yeah, no one is quite putting in as much effort as we are to partner with the teachers and line everything up with how the class works.
How are you getting the teachers to acquire you? So how are they marketing to their students?
Teachers don't really need to market to their students, they just say, this is what you're using. And then the students do it, pretty much. And we have teachers who give detentions if you don't use our website. So that's a great way of driving into engagement. Yeah, so it's interesting how that works.
They don't have credit cards.
Yeah, exactly. So we work through the teacher, and we say to the teacher, either we can invoice the school, or you can tell your students to pay for it online. And if they tell the students to pay for it online, then the students will end up with their parents' credit card, inevitably. And if we invoice the school has a choice to absorb the cost themselves, if they're a rich school, or they can pass it on to the students as a course-related cost, sort of thing.
Can you just comment on the wider sort of school environment? I think a lot of us are interested in sort of these new approaches to education and getting parents to get their credit cards out to pay for tools and these sort of versus centralized coordination in schools and saying, the principal coming out saying, stop making all the parents buy iPads or
Yeah, I don't think really Vocab is controversial in that sense, in that we're just replacing a workbook. Like at the moment, if you're studying French at school, you get a workbook and you pay maybe $30 for the year for the workbook, and you fill it out at the end of the year. It's useless because it's full of your writing. And we're just like a digital version of that, so we just wanted to replace that rather than. Although it is exciting what's happening in education, it's great times. Teachers are getting pushed from all angles to adopt technology. Their bosses are telling them to. Parents want it. Most teachers actually do want it. Yeah, so it's an exciting time.
So just talk us through the unit economics there. So you basically got $30 per student.
Yeah.
You go into a school.
Yeah.
And a school of 1,000 kids, how many would need it in terms of learning language?
Yeah. So learning a language we found to be generally about half, maybe. It depends where they make it compulsory. So a lot of schools will make it compulsory in the first year, year 9, secondary schools, and maybe year 10 as well. So you take a school like Wellington College, just down the road, they've got 1,500 students. Of those 600 are year 9 and 10, so they're all learning languages. So we take those 600 students, and that's 600 times 30. And that's what we invoice them for the other way.
So you said you had $30,000 of revenue, but that was paying the year license.
Exactly.
The first month.
Exactly.
So it's not really recurring.
Yeah, so at the start of the year we're collecting our annual revenue, so the 30k we've collected so far is some of that. We're expecting another 30k by like the end of the month.
Yeah, from a cash flow perspective.
And then it's not good from a cash flow perspective. And that's why we really want to diversify, so the semester subscriptions, having schools in the northern hemisphere would help, because they have a different school year alignment, so we can start to spread it out that way.
So just on that, in terms of talking normal industry, can you talk about how you sell and how
Yeah.
that scale?
Sure, so we have a free trial, and last year we had a very long free trial, and so what we did was we approached teachers at the end of the year, and we said, look, exams are coming up, here's our tool, there's a free trial for a term, so you can use it for the exams. Yeah, there's no obligation to buy it, you get value out of it just for free even if you don't buy it, and we'll throw in a ton of prizes for your students. And that got a lot of people using it in the lead up to exams last year, and then this year we're seeing a lot of them convert. When we call them up this year and say, hey, would you like to subscribe? A lot of them are keen to.
So you can sell to them across the phone or just...
Yeah, just across the phone. Often individual teachers have the power to approve it. Sometimes, more usually, they go to the head of department. And occasionally they have to consult the principal, you know, it's especially a big dollar number that jumps out at them.